We had a producer price index reading just a couple of hours ago, and I would say it's actually quite mixed. The headline numbers were higher, but they were backward revisions, and we're of course disassembling it, taking it apart, and looking at it. And I think markets and analysts are looking at it as I wouldn't call it hot. I would call it sort of mixed. But in terms of the overall picture for inflation, I think you have to go back to last year, where we had historically fast disinflation. Inflation came down by two full percentage points last year. Why did that happen? It's really two forces working together. One of them is just the reversal, the unwinding of the pandemic-related supply and demand shocks. So that we thought we would always get that. We thought we'd get it in 2022, and we didn't, and then it really arrived in 2021. So that was a big part of this, was just the reversal of distortions really to both supply and demand. The second thing is just restrictive monetary policy, and restrictive monetary policy cools the economy and makes room for the supply side to heal, but also lowers demand and ultimately lowers inflation. So I do think those two have been working together. And the question you ask is inflation going to be more persistent going forward? I think, and that would essentially mean that we've gotten the supply side gains that we're going to get, and now it's down to lower demand, which would take longer and potentially be more painful. I don't think we know that yet. I think we need more than a quarter's worth of data to really make a judgment on that. We know that there are still businesses still report that there are shortages and labor shortages and things like that, which are now being addressed. In addition, even when the shortage is alleviated, there should be lags before that shows up in economic activity and inflation. So there may be some more there. I don't want to give up on it yet at this point. I also think that having restrictive policy, we have the highest interest rates in some time. I think that it may be that takes longer than expected to do its work and bring inflation down. I am confident that we will do that, but that we will get inflation down to 2%, and ultimately we will do what we need to do with our policy rate.